The work of art is never born out of nothing. It is composed, written, painted at a certain time, within a certain society, at a certain moment in history.
Beyond the Score started as a tiny kernel of an idea several years ago, and the idea really was that music is a complex art form. We started thinking of a format in which there would be a first half of explanation and a second half of performing the piece.
You see images, you see paintings, you see bits of old movies or whatever it is you see, and you hear an actor doing words, they might be poetry or diaries. In the context of a live orchestra on stage, you enter a whole new medium. It is a performance, it's not the same as a film. While he was working on this symphony, a catastrophic change took place in his society. Stalin's paranoia erupted.
We are 100 years behind the advanced countries. We must catch them up in 10.
Strauss's Ein Heldenleben, or A Hero's Life, represents some of the most difficult and colorful writing in the orchestra repertoire.
When you say, I write this vast piece, and I call it a hero's life, and then it turns out to be my life, then there's a moment you go, uh-oh, what's he doing? Then you look at the letters he was writing. He knew what he was doing. He was winding up the critics. Remember that when he wrote these pieces, it was the very beginning of the use of the piano, and the piano on which he played didn't sound much like a modern piano. Mozart's piano concertos are among the supreme masterpieces of Western music. How can we approach work that is as subtle, as introverted, and as beautiful and full of shadows and the play of light?
There was a restaurant just along the street in those days, too. It belonged to Ignaz Jahn. On the floor above, Mr. Jahn had a music room. Beethoven performed here, and Mozart many times.
Madame Longa will sing, and Herr Kapellmeister Mozart will play a concerto on the fortepiano.
Stravinsky's Rite of Spring is still one of the most shocking, brilliant and violent orchestral scores ever written.
Throughout this work, I give the listener a sense of the closeness of the people to the earth by means of lapidary rhythms.
One of the most fascinating aspects of this music is the way Stravinsky draws on the folk roots of Lithuanian music.
Lithuania was one of the last countries in Europe to convert to Christianity. Its songs are closest to the pagan world.
Miraculous Mandarin was banned when it first came out for its pornographic content.
The deepest problems of modern life flow from the individual's struggle to exist in the metropolis.
We're really trying to create something that's a piece of art into itself, a piece of theater, a live documentary, setting the stage, setting the context, looking at the history of a piece, so that you're completely taken into the world of the composer, of the time he lived in, of what was going on in the world at that time, and you could put away the cares of the world that you live in and delve into, deeply into a piece of music.